I'll record now. So my apologies. Haven't done this in a
No
while.
worries. Coach, in regards to South Florida, obviously you guys played them really tough when you guys hosted them a few weeks ago. What did you kind of take away from that game, and how can you use that in this upcoming matchup against the Bulls?
Yeah, offensively, we were inefficient. We went back and looked at our shot selection. Um, just to give you an example, we were 2 for 18 on shots that wasn't threes and that were outside of the paint. If it wasn't a three and it was outside of the paint, we were 2 for 18 on really good looks. On really good looks because they didn't deny us. They come up and contested some of them and some of them they didn't. And that was the difference in the game for us when you started talking about that because they took the same shots and they made them and we didn't. We took care of the basketball. I think we had 8 or 9 turnovers. We forced them into turnovers. We gave up some like we normally do. But again, those opportunities to be able to make those open shots was the difference in the game. We have some breakdowns defensively, but I thought we made a good effort to be able to recover from. And we also put them in some situations where they were uncomfortable. And we got to continue to do that. We got to take care of Dulcie, who, dominated us on the glass. She just went and got every single rebound. So we got to put a body on her every single time. So just those small things like that we're looking at the second time around that we know we got to rebound better and we got to make some shots.
Coach, how was Layla doing and how Tierra doing? Are they healthy now?
Yeah. They both practiced yesterday, our first day back after having a couple of days off, 3 days off. And they both look really good. So we're expecting them to be in full rotation today when we practice against our guys and get to going again.
Coach, if I could follow up in regards to that USF matchup, like you mentioned, a shot inside the three, but outside the paint, you guys were 2 for 18. Really, how can you guys be more consistent on offense? It's kind of because you guys have been great defensively. It's kind of been that offense that's kind of hindered you guys at times.
Yeah. We have to stay out of we're trying to guess stuff. Usually we have some scores, and what you run into with scores, I know you've seen this a lot, is, they want to isolate sometimes and be able to go and play and things like that, and everybody else standing around watching. So we have to stay out of those kind of moments. And Layla and Tierra, who can also make plays in those areas, I think we'll be more efficient if we move the basketball and we get into it from that. But when we come down and we swing the ball a couple of times and end up in their hands and we don't know what to do the next thing, or they decide they want to go and try to get a bucket this time, is where we get into them being on one page and then the team being on another page. So I got to do a better job of putting them in a situation to be successful, understanding, getting our point guard to be able to call things that we have to call and be able to go and flow into what we need to flow in. And then I also got to find those moments where Tierra and Layla can have those opportunities to be themselves as well. So I got to find that balance, and that's on me.
Coach, how has Taylor Purvis helped in conference play for the team?
Taylor got a game ball after the Temple game. And we give out those game balls for, whoever plays well and do those things. It's not all about points. It's key moments. You're a glue player. You come in and play great defense. You could be a great person on the bench just cheering. And, it's just all about that energy. But Taylor has come in and just given us some redefined, what's the word, aggression at the point guard spot. Because now we can put her on our point guard and she can be able to get some pressure on that and kind of be the head of the snake for us. And on the offensive end, it allows Tierra and Layla to play off the ball where they don't have to play on the ball and be able to dominate on the ball as well. She can get everything going as well. So the thing we've always worried about with Taylor was turning the ball over and then not making good decisions down the stretch. But we saw that in the Temple game and the Tulane game. She's starting to be able to put those things together, especially getting fouled and going, I think, 6 for 6 down the stretch in the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game against Temple, which were very huge for us. We need to be able to count on her for that. And, it's just simple as having a conversation on the bench with her. You're junior now. These moments you have seen, and you have opportunity to be in those moments in non-conference. You have to be able to grow and make better decisions from those. And she responded very well.
Coach, how important is it for Bria Patterson when she does get the ball for her to be aggressive and in those situations?
You know, we started out when I talked to her before we played Cincinnati. You have to take at least 10 or 12 shots, Bria, to be, aggressive, to be able to measure. She needs a measurement every game. She's such a mother hen to make sure we do everything right defensively, and we got to move the ball around and get everybody in their positions and all that kind of stuff that she forgets about herself sometimes. So we have to have her come out and be aggressive. So the one thing she's trying to get used to is when I call sets for her, just because she doesn't like to be the main vocal point, just like Tatiana. They just want to make sure everybody does everything right so they can try to be in the best position for us to win because they're so selfless. And when you have 10 or 12 kids like that on the floor, you're always going to be successful because they care about other people. And now we try to get them to be more aggressive. I mean, even Tatiana, I know you didn't say anything about her yet, scoring around the basket, having all those looks, the Temple game. And she came over to me, but I don't have to shoot it every time. I was like, no, you don't. But they're just standing up there and you 2 feet from the basket. If you just settle down and be able to make it, because we're going to pass it out and we're going to shoot a 25-footer. So I'll take my chances with you down there. It's okay. They're kind of uncomfortable in those positions. So you got to keep getting them to understand that it's the betterment of the team, that you have to come out and be aggressive and be able to do what's necessary for us to be successful.
You guys are less than a month until the American Athletic Conference postseason tournament starts. What's kind of the main focus for you? What really do you want your team to excel in heading into that American Athletic Conference postseason tournament?
Well, the one thing we started doing here is just talking about March 9th. March 9th is that championship game, and we got to be in that championship game. So everything we do is a process of getting towards March 9th. And we're writing it on everything, and we're talking about it every day. Well, some people are afraid to talk about it because you have your kids looking ahead. We still understand we're going to be where our feet are and understanding the games and the practices that we have until that point. But again, we dropped breadcrumbs last year to get there, and we had a couple wins to get there almost to the semifinals, and now we want to be able to go. We want to pick up those breadcrumbs and be able to get to the kitchen this time and be able to start putting it all together in that championship game on March 9th. But it's all about February. It's all about what we're doing right now, being where your feet are, not being distracted, and again, taking care of business. That accountability of trust, protect, and empower, we want to be able to just ride on it because, again, they trust us, we trust them, meaning our team. We want to be able to empower each other like that and be able to protect each other like that. Anybody get off, start thinking about something other than that or where our feet are right now, we have accountability rule within each other to be able to bring them back to that same point. Like, be where your feet are right now. But don't forget about March 9th because it's the ultimate goal to where we want to be.